Hello, all you fantastic free thinkers out there. I'm Jeff Einstein, coming to you today from sunny Delray Beach in the fabulous free state of Florida. And yes, I'm easily amused. I have a new field-tested marriage relationship strategy I'd like to share with all the baffled and bemused hubbies out there today. I call it my just-in-case strategy. It's a preemptive two-part strategy that works best when applied right before you retire to bed at night and right after you first wake up in the morning. Every night, right before lights out, I lean over and say three things to my wife. I say, "Good night, honey." Then I say, "I love you, honey." And finally I say, "Goodbye, honey." Hubbies, let me ask you, how would you feel if you woke up in the morning and discovered that your poor wife had been incinerated by a nuclear holocaust while you were asleep? And you never even bothered to say goodbye? How would you feel? Exactly. But don't thank me yet, because there's more. Like most utterly baffled hubbies, I once wasted hours each day apologizing to my wife after every stupid and insensitive thing I did or said. Not anymore. Now, the moment I open my eyes in the morning, I lean over, kiss my wife good morning, and say, "I'm sorry, honey." That's right. A simple blanket apology for every inane and boorish transgression I haven't committed yet, but doubtless will throughout the day. Now, to recap, that's "goodbye, honey," last thing at night, and "I'm sorry, honey," first thing in the morning. Try it out. You can thank me later. In response to earlier reports that 21 black staffers would resign from the Biden White House, an administrative spokesperson declared, "A whole-of-government approach to racial equity and social justice takes time and competence. But because anti-racism experts have now classified competence as systemically racist, and because we cannot allow racism to interfere with our whole-of-government commitment to racial equity, we have instructed the Justice Department and the Department of Homeland Security to treat competency, both foreign and domestic, as a terrorist threat to the homeland. While we are hard at work in efforts to eliminate competency from all government agencies, our whole-of-government commitment to racial equity begins right here at the top."
But, I've adopted the attitude of the great Negro at the time pitcher in the Negro Leagues, went on to become a great pitcher in the pros into the Major League Baseball after Jackie Robinson.
Horrifying. A quick review of the Biden cabinet, starting with Vice President Kamala Harris, reveals why competency is under attack at the Biden White House. Chosen not because she was the first woman of color to become vice president, but because of her powerful oral skills. Kamala Harris has thrilled us over and over again with her unique brand of oratory flourish.
Talking about the significance of the passage of time, right? The significance of the passage of time. So when you think about it, there is great significance to the passage of time in terms of what we need to do to lay these wires, what we need to do to create these jobs. And there is such great significance to the passage of time when we think about a day in the life of our children.
Horrifying. Contrary to the claims of Republican white supremacists and homophobes, Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg was not chosen simply because he's a married, overeducated, gay military veteran. No, he was hired because of his tireless dedication to the pursuit of equity and social justice for the nation's transportation infrastructure. He set the record straight immediately upon his selfless return from a 2-month paternity leave at the height of the supply chain crisis last year.
I'm still surprised that some people were surprised when I pointed to the fact that if a highway was built for the purpose of dividing a white and a black neighborhood, or if an underpass was constructed such that a bus carrying mostly black and Puerto Rican kids to a beach, or there would have been, in New York was designed too low for it to pass by, that obviously reflects racism that went into those design choices.
Horrifying. Mere mention of the name Alejandro Mayorkas is enough to send chills down the spines of would-be border crashers and domestic terrorists alike. But his selection as Secretary of Homeland Security had nothing to do with his Latinx credentials. Rather, he was tapped by the Biden White House for his encyclopedic command of complex issues.
Here's my question to you. If your intent was to combat misinformation, online or in the government, why on God's green earth would you nominate someone who is a human geyser of misinformation?
Senator, I am ultimately responsible for the hiring of Ms. Jankowicz to be the executive director of the Disinformation Governance Board. In my capacity as the secretary,
Why did you choose her?
I bear responsibility for that. I understand that she is an expert in disinformation.
Yes, indeed, spreading it.
And she will have an obligation to execute her responsibilities in a nonpartisan way.
Were you aware of these? Were you aware of this information when you chose her? Everything I've just shown you?
I was not.
How could you not be?
Horrifying. Former Michigan Governor Jennifer Granholm was tapped by the Biden administration to serve as Energy Secretary, not only for her deep knowledge of energy sector issues, but for her infectious laugh as well.
What is the Granholm plan to increase oil production in America?
Oh my God, that is hilarious. Would that I had the magic wand.
Every time I fill up, it's close to like $80, $90.
How do you feel about that?
It's making me broke.
Oh my God.
If I'm not making a certain goal for the night, I don't have enough for gas tomorrow, and then I have to eat into my own general family budget to put gas in my car for this job.
Oh my God.
I mean, it's hard to make plans when you've got an administration that's trying to crush your future.
Oh my God, that is hilarious.
Horrifying. Ideologues despise competency. That's why the Biden administration's whole of government efforts to eliminate competency have been so animated and have met with such unqualified success. So much so, in fact, that the most competent person in the entire Joe Biden administration is now Joe Biden.
Disabled and non-disabled all around the world, I call on you to commit to concrete actions to stop the destruction of this magnificent planet. This conference is one of the most important meetings in history. You have the chance to make decisions and reach agreements which will affect the lives of generations to come. You are in a position of extraordinary power. You can change forever the trajectory we are on. You can make a world that is once again full of hope, not fear. This is my message from Earth to COP. On behalf of We the 15, I ask you, please help us to guarantee a safer future for every life, regardless of their ability.
Horrifying. That's it for me, folks. Be sure to slam that subscribe button. Tell me what you think in the comments below. And don't forget to share this video with at least 200 of your closest friends and family. Remember, skepticism is our first civil obligation in a free society. Thanks for watching, and God's love to you.